Mr. Tickle.
In a Tangle.
Now, who does that extraordinarily long arm belong to? Of course, it's Mr. Tickle.
And Mr. Tickle's long arms come in very handy. They can reach kites caught in trees.
They can answer the phone when Mr. Tickle is in the bath.
But, most importantly, they are splendidly perfect for tickling. Tickling people around corners.
Tickling people through upstairs windows.
And even tickling people on the other side of letterboxes.
However, there are days when those extraordinary long arms are not so handy. Days when they're nothing but a nuisance. Days like last Monday. Mr. Tickle was lying in bed eating breakfast when he heard his garden gate open. It was Mr. Stamp the postman. Quick as a flash, Mr. Tickle sent one of his long arms down the stairs to tickle Mr. Stamp.
Oh, that is what he intended to do. But somehow or other, his arm got tangled up in the banisters. Poor Mr. Tickle. It took him an hour to untangle his arm.
The letter Mr. Stamp had delivered was an invitation from Mr. Uppity for lunch at the Grand Hotel. Mr. Tickle took the bus downtown and sat on the upper deck.
Mr. Tickle sent one of his long arms down the stairs to tickle a bus driver, but somehow or other, the tickle inspector trod on his arm. Ouch!
Mr. Tickle arrived at the Grand Hotel and rushed through the revolving door. Or rather, he tried to, but somehow or other, his arms got caught in the door. The fire brigade had to be called out to untangle his arms, by which time he had missed lunch.
Poor Mr. Tickle. No lunch, and even worse, no tickles.
It was a very sad Mr. Tickle who set off for home. Suddenly, he heard something. He stopped. Somebody was approaching from around the corner. Mr. Tickle smiled to himself and sent both his arms round the corner to tickle that somebody.
But that somebody was little Miss Naughty, and she tied those extraordinary long arms together in a knot.
When he got home, Mr. Tickle fell back into his armchair. What a terrible day. Not one tickle. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. It was little Miss Tiny. Mr. Tickle stretched out one of his extraordinary long arms. Well, one tickle was better than none.
Even if it was only a tiny tickle.